Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, bringing you another UU match with my awesome UU team. So we're going to start this battle off with a critical hit from my opponent's Yanmega, taking out my Bronzong in one shot. That was a really awesome beginning. So at this point, I just kind of sent out my Rotom H. I notice here that his Yanmega doesn't actually have speed boost, which is something interesting to note. Because I saw the team preview, I actually predicted a switch into his Rhyperior right here, but he just goes into Munchlax, which takes the Hidden Power Grass just as well. So I switch out and go into my Melodic to deal with this Munchlax, and he whirlwinds me out, fail, back into my Rotom. Luckily for me, he doesn't have Rocks up yet, so this isn't too big of a deal with the whirlwinding, but I actually trick him a Choice Scarf here, which is really awesome because I get to take it to Violite, reducing its defenses significantly, and also locking him into Whirlwind, which is awesome. And at this point, he whirlwinds me out into my Machamp, so I just take this opportunity to go for a Toxic because I wanted to get the Toxic on the Munchlax if it stayed in. And he switched out to a Blastoise, which, wouldn't appreciate the Toxic much either. So here, I just go for a Substitute. Not really sure what he was going to do, but I figured Blastoise doesn't really have the best attack in the world, so I figured I could take maybe whatever move he used against me and still keep my sub. But it actually turns out that the Blastoise goes for Yawn. So this team seems to be really centered around phasing people, which is really interesting, but kind of unfortunate because he didn't set up any entry hazards yet. But here I just go for payback because I don't want to deal with the defense drops from close combat just yet. And then I again go for another sub just to wear down this Blastoise even more with toxic damage. He goes for a Surf, breaks my sub again, and then on the following turn is when I actually take out this Blastoise, going for the close combat, which should be more than enough to kill at this range, which is awesome. So now I'm sitting good. It's 1-1, or sorry, 5-5 right now. We both lost one Pokemon each, and it seems kind of like I have the advantage at this point because Machamp is just an annoying Pokemon to have to switch in on. But here he goes out into Gallade, and I know that a Psycho Cut could be coming, but instead of just waiting, or just instead of predicting him to just go for it right away, I actually go for Toxic, which turns out to be awesome because it shows that he actually just went for Swords Dance. Now I know that the Psycho Cut is coming now, and obviously I can't do anything about it, so I just switch out into my Mismagius, which takes a hit and dies in one turn, which is really funny because the last battle I uploaded with this Mismagius, it did basically the exact same thing. It served the role of just getting hit by something. But here, I just go out to my Rotom and I go for the Overheat. I outspeed, which I wasn't expecting to do, but I guess Rotom is just faster than Gallade and I just wasn't aware. But here he goes out into his Porygon-Z, and I obviously don't want to take any adaptability tri-attacks from this thing, but I know if I want something to take an attack, I would want Rotom to take it at this point. So I just go for Volt Switch, and it turns out that I'm faster, meaning that this Porygon isn't Scarfed, which is great because Scarfed Porygon-Zs are a pain in the butt to deal with. And my Melodic is able to take the Dark Pulse pretty well. So at this point, I just switch back out into Rotom because I realize that I'm faster and I want to take a Dark Pulse. And I mean, I can take a Dark Pulse, so it's really no big deal there. And he just switches back out into his Munchlax. I Volt Switch back out into my Melodic. He Whirlwinds me again, and this time he sends out to my Machamp yet again, putting him in a really bad position. Now, because I went for the Toxic last time, I decided that he obviously was going to switch again, and Toxic seemed to work out before. So I go for sub first because I figured he wouldn't want to take the close combat. I thought he might have, actually I didn't show sub to him yet. Actually, yes I did, never mind. I thought he might predict the sub and keep going for Whirlwind, but it turns out he didn't. And I'm able to Toxic this Yanmega, which is really awesome. And I think the Yanmega is Scarfed. It's either Scarfed or Specs. Either way, it does have the Tinted Lens ability, meaning that no matter what move it chooses, it's going to be doing a lot of damage, as you can see right here. And because even though I resist it, Air Slash does neutral damage because of its ability. But Toxic is wearing down, and I'm able to actually Volt Switch again. I am faster than this Yanmega. Okay, he must be running some weird EVs, or just Rotom is faster than I initially thought he was. But I just Volt Switch again, and I switch back out into my Machamp, since he seems to be doing a pretty good job of handling this team right now. Now, I don't want to take a tri-attack, but I had to stay in at this point because nothing else really wanted to take that move. It's really annoying to have to deal with Porygon-Z because I found out later that this is Specs Porygon-Z. Just the damage it can do is ridiculous, and it's very, very hard to deal with. And so I switched on my Rotom because I know it's faster now. And I just go for Overheat. He switches on to Munchlax, which is really good because of the thick fat ability and its high special defense. But I just Volt Switch back out into my Melodic, and I'm pretty good. Rotom is doing work this battle. But he whirlwinds me out into my Rotom again, and I'm just going to keep going for Volt Switch because I have no really other thing to do at this point. And he goes into Rhyperior finally, which is something I predicted way earlier in the match. And he sponges the Volt Switch because obviously he's immune to it. But I also have the Hidden Power Grass, which is a super effective critical hit. I don't think the crit mattered at all because it is 4 times super effective, but with Solid Rock, I think that makes it like 3.5 times super effective or something like that. Either way, way more than it needed to do. But here he brings in his Porygon-Z, goes for Dark Pulse, which I thought was really weird, and I miss my Overheat, which really sucks. 90% accuracy, man. It kills you every time. But here I just go into my Porygon or my Lodic, sorry, because he went for Dark Pulse, so I know I can live whatever move he wants to go for. And I just go for Scald, and seeing how much damage it does, plus the burn that I got onto it, this Munchlax is going to go down the next turn to whatever move I use. Um, and I just go for Scald again, obviously, to get all that damage on the Munchlax, take it out, and leave him just with his Porygon-Z. Luckily for me, though, its Tri-Attack, which it's going to use on this next turn, does not take me out because of my Lodic's excellent special defense, and I'm able to actually take it out with a Scald, which does get a critical hit. Probably mattered to kill the Porygon-Z, but because I also had a Flygon, which would have been faster than the Porygon-Z because it was Specs and not Scarf, like I said, I would have been able to take it out the next turn regardless. So that was the battle. It was pretty good, pretty close one. I need to find a battle where Mismagius actually does something because, oh my god, it just keeps dying in every single battle. But hopefully we figure that out soon. I think I'm going to do maybe 1 or 2 more videos with this team, and then I'll do an analysis of it like I did with my NU team back in the day with my super awesome NU team. And I'm not saying that this one is really, really good. It's just that all the Pokemon seem to work together really well on this team. And some of the move sets I'm using are a little bit more different than what you might be used to be seeing. But that is the battle for today, everyone. So as always, take care and goodbye.